First you want to measure to get the right amount of rope so that you have the correct amount of tail. So I usually do about shoulder to hand. Make my bite, twist it twice, pull it through. So now you have a figure 8. Into your harness, there's a little piece of webbing that you want to go between. Go towards yourself, following the belay loop, and up through the 2 pieces of webbing at the top of the harness. Important step here is to pull the figure 8 close to your harness so that you don't end up with a big gap between your harness and your knot. Your figure 8 is not too big because then it will end up farther away than you anticipated. So we're going to follow the rope as it exits the harness. This is the important step of keeping it close to your harness to make sure you don't have too big of a gap. Follow the rope around, and you can see I'm basically making 2 flat tracks, following it around. At this point I need to pull this one inside to make them all flat. This is part of the dressing process. So I'm going to flip the outside rope up on the bottom and down on the top. And then I'm going to pull opposite together, and then I'm going to pull the opposing strands to tighten. Now you can see that the knot is perfectly dressed and complete. Your tail should be at least 2 lengths of the knot, so this is the appropriate amount of tail. So you want to load the ATC, make a bite in the rope. You're going to be placing it on the right side, or whichever hand you're belaying with. Whichever hand is your brake hand, that is. And basically you want to make sure that the tail, which is where you're going to brake, is on the bottom. So push the bite into the device. Then you want to insert it into your carabiner, and you want to lock it. So now we can see we have the right hand, it's on the right side, and the bottom is where the rope is coming out, which is your brake hand. How to load a gree-gree. This is a gree-gree device, which is an auto-locking belay device. As you can see, it has diagrams to indicate how to load the rope properly. I'm going to go ahead and put my carabiner on my harness. I'm going to grab my rope, and I'm going to load the gree-gree, ensuring that the rope that leads to the climber is on the side that indicates the climber. When you close the device, the rope that goes up or goes to the climber should be on the climber side, and the rope that's going to be your brake should be on the side that shows a hand. So you're going to load that into your carabiner, lock your carabiner, and you're ready to belay. Check. My harness is double backed, my carabiner is locked and in the appropriate location, and my rope is properly loaded into the device. As a climber, I'm checking for my knot complete and correct in the right parts of my harness, and my harness is double backed. I'm ready to climb. So our belayer and our climber are ready. We're going to start with the commands.
On belay?
Belay is on.
Climbing?
Climb on. So I'm going to pull, slide up, pull, driving with my brake hand. I'm locking off as much as I can. I'm staying in that locked off position. Taking small pulls, moderate pulls. If the climber falls, I'm just going to lock off. And once they're ready, I'll start taking the slack out of the rope again. Has completed their climb, so I need to lower them. So I'm going to put both hands on the brake, and I'm going to allow the rope to slide through my device by changing the angle of the rope. I just want to ensure that there's not too much speed because the rope could burn my hands and make me want to let go. hands down method. We're going to pull. We're driving the pulling action with our right hand. Locking off, grabbing below, and sliding up. Pull, grab below, locking off, sliding up. In this case, since we're using a gree-gree, we're actually going to release the rope using this lever, but still controlling it and having it curve over the bent part of the metal here.